Hey everybody, Jason here. Just heading home from work. Friday afternoon. It's a little hot out. It's like 90-some degrees. Although, we've been lucky here in Ohio. It's typically been in the mid 70s, and every once in a while dipping up into the 80s. And until this week, it finally started hitting the 90s at the end of June. So that's really not too bad, temperature-wise. The downside to that is there's been a ton of fucking rain, and it's been gloomy, cloudy, wet weather for a long time now. But I'll tell you what, I'll take that over 100 degrees any day. Anyway, hope everybody's having a good week, and thanks to everybody who's watching videos, and the new people who have subscribed, and and all of you people who have in one way or another dealt with some of my last two videos that were really bad uploads. The one was my upload of the Warhammer unboxing, which was really chaotic and shaky and kind of gross, and then my follow-up video, which was an apology for that other video being so shitty, which was an even worse video. Because normally I will just take my videos that I record on my phone and just upload them as is, no editing or anything like that. And then I decided to take my apology video, put it onto my MacBook, and then go through iMovie like I normally do with my old videos that are done with my good camera, like my mounted camera. That I do my other unboxings and stuff with my old videos I used to do, my nice camera. And so I thought, well, I'll just put that file into iMovie and edit it like I used to with other videos. And I must have clicked on an audio filter that I didn't realize I was doing, or something. The only thing I think of was an audio filter, because it sounded like dog shit, and I apologize for that. So anybody who sat through it, even a fraction of that video, and had to deal with that terrible sound, I apologize. But I'm going to do a little bit more diligence in the future. And see, now this damn thing is shaking again already. I'm going to do a little bit more diligence and make sure that my stuff sounds a little better in the future. But I wanted to say on here that I saw, I didn't see something. I was thinking about how simple some of us in the OSR movement want our games to be. And I've really been wanting to start a game up at work, because we can take anywhere from a half hour to longer of a lunch, as many times as we want per week. So a lot of us take like a 45-minute to an hour-long lunch every day. And I was thinking to myself, it would be nice, since my only current gaming group meets once a month at best, to play 5th edition D&D. And I've really been wanting to play something else. And just most of the systems out there are not really good for such short campaigns, such short play sessions. So I was thinking, there are things out there I could use, like I could use Foo, which is super narrative. But I could use Warrior, Rogue, and Mage, which is really system light. I could use like White Box, Fantastic Medieval Adventures, and kind of limit the level cap to, like, say 4 or 5, something like that. But I've been thinking to myself, I love creating systems and things like that, although mechanically and mathematically I don't know that they're always the most sound. But that's where OSR style rules light systems come into play. So I've started working on a system that is very rules light. I haven't decided for sure what stats it'll have, but I think just for the sake of ease, I'm gonna use the traditional 6 D&D stats, and I don't want to use a D20 because I'm kind of D20'd out. And plus it's very swingy. You know, it's such a swingy die. There's so many different options. I want to lower it. I love the idea of 2d6, but I don't really want to have to do a whole lot of, not that there's a lot of math in 2d6, because there's really not. But I mean, it's because I'm trying to do something where it's literally, you know, an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of gameplay is what I'm trying to keep in my head when I'm designing this thing. And I want to eliminate as much as possible. So I love the idea. My favorite die is a D12. I'm not sure why, but my favorite die is a D12. I like the idea of a 2d6, but I don't like the idea of having to stop for even 1 second. I don't want to stop for 1 second to do math. I don't care if it's a 3 + 2 or a 6 + 4 or whatever. I don't want to take a split second to do math. I want it to be snappy and fast. So I was thinking I will drop the 2d6 and do a d12, because I'll have basically the same numbers, and it won't have your typical skill system. It will have a skill system, but not like plus bonuses or anything like that. Being skilled will basically affect how the die works. Basically, whether or not you can have a critical success or a botch. And then also, I don't want to have like a D6 hit points or a D8 hit points or variable hit points. I don't want any of that. I want to take a page out of the Cartoon Action Hour book. Excuse me, this thing is very, it's bothering me today. Anyway, so in Cartoon Action Hour, you had, instead of having hit points, you had setback tokens. And once you got 3 setback tokens, you were out of a fight in terms of combat. So I wanted to take a page out of that book. I don't know if I want to call them setbacks or something else. The document that I'm writing in my little scribble of notes currently just says health levels, which that will probably change. But I'm gonna probably set that to 3, with the possibility of getting automatic, like 1-hit kills and things like that. So we'll be very, combats won't last an hour. It's not like we're gonna start a play and be stuck in a 2 or 3 hour long combat because of hit point bloat and 8th level characters and this and that, and you know, this weapon does this die damage, this weapon's 2-handed so it does extra damage, things like that. None of that. There's basically going to be 3 skill levels: unskilled, skilled, and highly skilled. And each one of those will literally just affect how rolling a 1 or rolling a 12 works on the die. And that's really it as far as skills. But I don't want it to be so rules light that it becomes a narrative system. I don't want that. So there will be levels. I'm thinking it'll probably limit to level 5. That's as high as you can go. And you will get skill points, so you can raise your skills. So there's that. There's a little bit of customization. I don't want every character to feel the same. But, so that's kind of what I've been working on today a little bit. And I don't know how far this little creation of this system will go. I don't know what it will become. It's not going to become if it takes off, if it leaves the ground and becomes something tangible and something I can put out there for the community to use, it won't be some 60 or 80 or 120 page book. It'll just be super rules light. I'm thinking at best, at most, maybe 32 pages. I don't know why 32, that's I guess a typical number for rules light books. I've got some other things to think about as far as like you know, how certain types of enemies will work, like dragons, for example. You know, how armor works. I've got that kind of worked out in my head too, as far as I know. I'll have to do some dice play testing and things like that, but armor basically will be armor points. So your armor will soak up your setback tokens, or whatever they are called, your setbacks, until a certain number are soaked up, and then your armor will sunder and it will be useless. And let's see, what else? It's really as far as I've gotten, I think, right now. Now that I think about it, it's most as I've got written down. But again, you know, creating systems for me is a blast. It's so fun. You know, it's a great exercise for my mind, because I suck at math. You know, being creative. I love to write. I love to draw. I love to do photography and video. But those things are not always the easiest thing. It's hard to find inspiration, but most of the time I can find inspiration very easily to work on mechanics for dice systems and game systems. So that's cool. But anyway, that's just kind of the short thoughts going through my head today. Was designing a quick system that's not narrative, but also not rules light. I don't even want it to be rules medium or crunchy. I want it to be a good mix of a little bit of narrative and a little bit of rules light, but not too narrative. I want there to be mechanics and crunch and reasons to roll dice with your friends and have fun, but I also don't want the mechanics to bog down gameplay to where you can't accomplish anything in under an hour. I'm writing this thing with in mind, basically hour-long sessions. If you play more, that's great. If you want to play just a hair under, that's fine. But no less maybe than 45 minutes of gameplay, and ideally about an hour. Again, if this thing takes off, that's great. If it doesn't, who knows? At least it was, you know, fun, flexing my brain muscle a little bit and being a little creative. But anyway, that's what has been on my mind today as far as the hobby and role playing. And hope you guys have a good weekend and play some good games. And thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for being part of the community. Again, down below, leave some comments, record a video response, and then link that below also. I'll watch that. You know, I haven't had any video responses to anything yet, but one of these days. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you later. Bye.